Assalamualaikum to Media Zara. My name is Nurul Aisyah binti Yusafendi and my other friend Nurul Khairuna binti Khairul Anwar are going to presenting a video critique about the movie My Salinger. For the movie synopsis, Joanna, as an aspiring writer and poet, leaves Berkeley, California in 1995 and relocates to New York City, and she works as an assistant at Margaret's literary agency. Her work includes responding to a vast number of fan mail that Salinger receives, and she needs to answer all of this fan mail with the general email that the agency has provided, that stating Salinger did not read any fan mail. But Joanna is tempted, so she answers some of the fan mail with a proper response, and she sent it to them. As for Margaret, she doesn't think that computer is a very useful technology, so she makes Joanna use typewriter to do her work. So Joanna assists in liaising with the small publisher, and she attends the meeting between Salinger and the publisher at Georgetown University, which happens to coincide with the concert by Carl, which is her former boyfriend, in Washington DC. Margaret gains confidence in Joanna and allows her to read several papers and articles. Joanna then has achieved to sell her first book for the agency, and she is offered to a senior position. However, she decided to leave the company in order to pursue her dream. So the main characters in this movie consist of two roles. The first one is Margaret, who played by Sigourney Weaver, and then we have Joanna, played by Margaret Qualley. So the role Margaret, she is a literary agent for J.D. Salinger. She is an eccentric person. She preferred to do her work by using typewriters instead of using the modern technology, which is computer at that time. She is someone who is very careful person when it comes to publishing J.D. Salinger books, because for her J.D. Salinger writing is very important for her. For Joanna, she is a role who wants to be a writer. She used to write poet when she was studying. She leaves Berkeley and relocates to New York City to pursue her dreams. She then found a job at Margaret's literary agency as Margaret's assistant. She can be said as someone who is very confident to express her opinion about books to Margaret.
For the first point is group discussion skill. So for this point, the aspect of this point is a professional vertical communication between the superior and the employee, which will lead to a solution. So this one will effect on the daily life is the meeting will run smoothly and also enhance listening skills, and also can boost the confidence of speaker. So probably by doing that, the problem will be solved properly and the meeting will run smoothly. So for the recommendation on this point is to focus during meeting, and also be an active listener and give ideas during the meeting, so that we can manage to build teamwork and healthy workplace culture. Is professionalism. This is the scene where is the Joanna keep talking about Margaret, which is her boss, about her lifestyle. So her boss, which is Margaret, stop Joanna from talking instead of doing work. So the aspect that we find is professionalism leads to workplace success. a strong professional reputation, and a high level of work ethic, and also excellent. So the effect on daily life, especially in the workplace, is we can separate working life and also personal matter, and will be more focused on job responsibilities and also duties. So good interpersonal interactions and a long-term reputation in company and also industry. So for the recommendation is every workers must avoid talking or sharing personal life at work, but of course we have time that we can chit chat with, we have a communication with each other, but we have to manage to find a good timing and also set the boundaries between time, working time, and also rest time.
For the next positive critical incident is giving compliments. So in this scene shows that Margaret congratulates Joanna in front of everyone because of her achievement for selling her first book for the agency. The aspect for this critical incident is that congratulating an employee gives them motivation to them, and they can also feel appreciated. Effect on daily life. The employee will feel that her effort is worth it for what they have done. It can give good examples to the other workers. It can also gain confidence to the employee to do her job more adequately in future. So for recommendation, other employees should be more happy for her and celebrate her achievement by congratulating her. It should be made as an example to the other workers to do work more better and set as their motivation.
Okay, so next is the negative, which is unprofessional behavior, which is smoking. This is the scene where the Margaret is smoking during office hours. So the aspect is the fundamental right to privacy does not apply to smoking. Smoking is a very bad attitude, especially during working area. So the effect on daily life is of course second-hand smoke exposure, the one that do not smoke, and also will make colleague feels uncomfortable with the smoking attitude. So for the recommendation, manager must portray a good work ethic to gain respect, and also smoking should be banned in the office area. And we should not apply this attitude, which is smoking, during work.
For the second negative critical incident is rude response. So in this scene, Judy Bloom, which is a writer for the literary agency, left Margaret's office in a state of dissatisfaction. And Joanna knew why Judy left the office in that kind of state. It is because Margaret doesn't agree with her storyline. So Joanna gave her some rude response saying that if I were Judy, I would have left too. So the aspect for this critical incident is that rudeness is considered as a type of behavior that shows the worker to have a very bad attitude towards the employer, and the effect on daily life is that this kind of response might cause some tense situation among the colleagues due to the response of one of the worker, and relationship between this person and the other colleagues can get awkward, and the feeling of dissatisfaction can appear. The recommendation for this critical incident is that before reacting to any kind of issue right away, it is recommended to try to understand the situation first before we can giving out an opinion. Employee also should have a good or proper attitude when talking to the employer. For the last negative critical incident is offensive language. In this scene, they were having a small meeting discussing about J.D. Salinger wants them to publish his book after a very long time. But this one particular person disagree with Margaret's decision on how she wants the book to be published. So he has stated his dissatisfaction, and he said an offensive word because of he was disagree with Margaret's decision. So the aspect for this critical incident is that blurting any offensive word towards the employer or other colleague is considered as disrespectful behavior at work. So the effect on daily life is that colleague will try to avoid from talking to this person, and other colleagues will find out that the person as someone who likes to blurt out an offensive word whenever they are not satisfied with the decision in a meeting or in any conversation. So the recommendation for this critical incident is that the person should try to control his temper before talking, and try to not use any offensive word to the other colleague when giving out an opinion.
So for the conclusion, we managed to find a few of positive and also negative aspect about important issue of professional and unethical workplace contained in the movie. So the lesson that I learned is practice good work ethic, like being professional and considerate can maintain good relationship among colleagues as well as enhance good productivity. So good work ethic can make individual more focused and responsible regarding their work. So the negative aspect that we find in the movie, such as smoking, rude responses, and also offensive language, should not be practical or normalized. So regardless of where we are working or have worked in the past, I think we probably encounter some form of rude behavior at least. So I think by applying the positive aspect in workplace, the positive, so there is trust, cooperation, and also equity. So we have to find the apply the positive aspect during working, so we will avoid from the negative aspect.